What's up, viewers? We're a little behind tonight, but we're just going to do a special episode tonight where we do a wrap up of the last 20 episodes. We're missing a player. Our lovely Mr. Taylor is on a trip, so he's not joining us tonight. But thanks for hanging out with the five of us that are here. Um, Let us know if you're having any trouble with our audio. I am sadly our showrunner who has basically no tech skills, but I think I fixed it. Just let us know if you have at any point trouble hearing us or if you're hearing us too much. That's also a problem. I'll pass it off to the main man in the booth, Nathaniel.
All right. So, welcome everyone for showing up, and this is basically designed so that if you are too busy to watch the past 40 hours worth of content, that you can watch this and hopefully have a good idea of what's happened. So I'll start off with a basic rundown of what happens, and then it's the rest of everyone just to kind of talk about what happened, what do you think's going on, and to figure out really what they want to do next. This will be a shorter episode, as we'll likely just maybe last about an hour. So basically, when we reach our break time frame. So we'll start off with our first episode was them in the capital city of Lux, where the city had just gone under a major attack from multiple different groups and had helped resolve that situation, and we're there for about a week and to rest. From there, they were given a few different tasks from different groups. The Griffin Riders wanted them to kind of figure out kind of what's going on with the Druids, because the Druids are kind of up in arms about a few things. Figure out what their companion Lionrith is and kind of what's going on with him. The king requested that they find his treacherous son and bring him in. And the church, who is this large embodiment of creation and the divine holy magics, their opposing deity, the goddess of destruction, was released during the siege. To stop her, they need to collect these various artifacts that are representative of these aspects of creation. As such, they were tasked with, hey, if you find them, bring them back to us. That would be great. We'll can't handle the rest. You'll be the relative some of the people we'll be sending out, but go take a look. They did some investigation within the city, some last-minute preparations, and then they set out from the city to the nearby town of Maple Grove, where a friendly wizard of theirs, Cirrus Deacon, resided, who had the aspect of intelligence. After climbing the tower and resolving a variety of things and taking a step into various planes, they were able to acquire the aspect. A friend had to stay behind because they ate a forbidden fruit. And from there,
All
yeah,
right, Fern. We're coming for you, buddy. Stay still.
Yeah, she's frozen in time, and we'll see what ends up happening with her. From there, they went to a nearby druid circle within Maple Grove, as that was a lead for them to check on Lionrith's status, which at this point was a discovery that he might be a divine himself or a deity or god. It was kind of a mixture of things. Nobody was really sure yet. From there, they realized that these druid circles can imbue him with power, seem to be restoring what he had maybe lost, as well as some of his memories as well, which he had amnesia up to this point. Upon departing from there, Veldara projected herself to the town and basically wiped it out entirely. From there, they had their companion with them that had followed them since Lux, which was Elabella, someone who they're not too friendly with, assisted them and to teleport them out of danger to the city of Titania, which is the center of the Church of Creation, where they reside. After some mixed negotiation practices there with the church, it ended up with some tough decisions that were made. It created the party to split, where one group stayed behind, maybe see if they could resolve that situation a bit more, get some information. And the other group left with Lionrith to distance themselves between the two because they did not want Lionrith to be forced to stay there. Group A failed and got imprisoned. Group B encountered a walking night of death and destruction, basically, and was pursued by this inevitable force. From there, we had the prison group and the Lionrith group. The prison group will follow their kind of line first. Was stuck in prison for a few days, eventually broke out, and more so or not, eventually convinced the guards that they weren't really a threat and kind of cooperated a bit with the things that they asked. They were let go, and then they made their way to Sylvia's hometown of Wolford. Along the way, nothing really too crazy happened, but when they arrived in the town, they encountered the funeral for her dead sister who died during the siege. After some tense and sad moments, a old acquaintance of theirs, which is most likely enemy of theirs, especially after this moment, appeared and basically said that, hey, you wrecked up my stuff, now I'm going to wreck up your stuff. And proceeded to murder her mother during this funeral. And as such, this caused a commotion, of course. And Sylvia's family decided that they needed to reveal the past of their old ancestor Melindrock, who was this great wizard hero that helped the Hero King so many years ago. In doing so, so they got a bunch of stuff out of it, got some information. They departed down to the Elven City, far to the south, Phelan Thalor, as that's where Group B was heading. Rolling back time, we come back to Group B, who at some point just going to the Raccoon Forest, was going to sit tight, wait for the group to appear. However, Death Knight came and was pursued relentlessly as they went south. They encountered some druids who were of some help, but were having some issues themselves. Met some old acquaintances at a lake that they met during Lux prior to the siege, during the tournament of this big celebration. All the way to Warford, where Sylvia's father is like, I don't want anything to do with you because you guys are wanted everywhere. And as they kept going down, more and more knights started to catch up with them to a point to where they almost fell apart. They called upon the aid of I would say, old friend or acquaintance, depending on your perspective, who is the spy master of the Griffin Riders. She came in, basically was able to help break the math struggle and got them to a point to where they could just get Lionrith out of the situation without losing anybody, really. From there, they made it to the forest, got stuck there for a few days, and went to Phelan Thalor. Were in prison for a little bit, and the group met up. Finally, within the city of Phelan Thalor, this Elven Council was like, hey, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. We have this unprecedented circumstance where this new deity is around. We need to figure out how to handle this. We're going to call a summit to discuss this. We'll bring in all the big powers in. As such, that's where we kind of left off, and they had about a day there. So if you want to know a little bit more details on that, watch the previous episode. But from this point forward, the other four of you, you're feel free to talk, make comments, questions, and plan for the future.
I would like to cordially suggest to my constituents here that we cancel Nathaniel for making us sound like horrible people throughout that entire description.
Every D&D party sounds like horrible people.
Truth.
Of all the things that he could have listed, he made us sound terrible. They're all true, but it made us sound terrible.
This is said with love, but it's because we're a group of idiots.
Yeah.
And also, there's some important context that has to be skipped over because it was a brief overview.
Yeah, that's true. They don't even know that we rescued Clank and Scrape.
I will say, looking back specifically at Titania and how I discovered the like guards hidden in the wall, that really should have been a clue, and we should have started checking things out and maybe looked outside and discovered that they were setting up an ambush. That could have gone very differently.
Every time that Nathaniel is like, "Whoa, this might be a sign," we're all like, "I am going to extremely ignore that, and I'm going to go check out this raccoon with money over here."
If Nathaniel has ever given us a sign, my oblivious butt has completely missed it.
Yeah.
And then even in the future, when he's like, "Hey, there might have been a sign back there," we were like, "This acorn?" And he was like, "No."
He's like, "No, it was the giant sign that literally said, 'Don't go that way.'"
Listen, man, don't eat the fruit. Don't rest the night when you're being pursued by crazy wraiths. Some of these things just don't seem like common sense to me.
All right, well, let's just ignore how blatantly concerning that is.
It's not my fault that I'm stupid, okay?
Would we call you
There's a
stupid or just judgmentally challenged?
Judgmentally challenged is very accurate. I don't make good judgments.
Also, lack of street smarts. That might be helpful because
Hey.
you're very smart. Just street smarts.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna
let's
agree with her on
insult
that one.
somebody else now.
And now I'm just thinking of John Mulaney. Street smart.
Street smart.
It took a
Oh,
lot of
man.
effort not to say that in his voice.
Yeah.
Man, what are we gonna do next aside from Sylvia getting schwasty?
Besides what now?
Sylvia's gonna get schwasty on the good stuff that Gorfrak acquired. I thought that
Oh,
was
yeah.
implied. Was that not implied?
It was implied. Piper just didn't know what you meant by schwasty.
I just didn't hear you the first time.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm
You
not
can't.
that much younger than you. That can't be a vocab difference.
Yes,
No,
but you are
he's
fully
9
Gen
million years
Z,
old.
and I'm on the fringe, so you'd be shocked the difference just between that.
Well, schwasty is another word for saying imbibing a lot of alcohol.
Yes, I got it now. I'm just saying.
I think we all can get the context clues.
Yes.
Yeah.
I speak multiple languages. I think I can figure it out.
It took me long enough to figure out what you guys meant by the good stuff. I was so confused.
Yeah, that's
Not good at context clues.
Again, no street smarts.
I'd also like to say I was very amused by the way Nathaniel talked about Sylvia's dad, that I don't want you around us. It made it sound like there was an undertone of, I have standards and you guys do not meet them. Get out.
You
That's
missed that in
probably
Act
true.
1, Faith. That was totally the attitude in Act 1 when the party was introduced to Sylvia's family.
Yeah.
Failing grades at
Classic.
dinner, which is a really hard thing to do.
Yeah. Except Let. Or was Let doing terribly? I can't remember now.
Let wasn't doing too bad, but Sylvia also
It
took
was like-
4 social outcasts and brought them to a high-class dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, only 3 at that point. I guess
Oh, yeah.
Linewith kind of got a pass because he's a baby dragon. Like, come on.
He is baby.
Important context for people who are utilizing this to catch up on the first 20 episodes and then just join us when we come back from our hiatus. We didn't air the first act of this D&D campaign online. We just played it with each other just in person and over like, video calls and stuff. And then we got the bright idea that maybe we should start streaming this. We added a player who would be that way on your screens. That would be Faith, who had never played D&D before. Most of us, except actually Madison, had never played D&D before. And so,
Faith is that way to me.
huh?
Faith is up there.
No, Faith is the other way.
Up
Yeah.
there?
I pointed the wrong way too. She's that way.
Yeah.
But so then we thought it would be a really good idea to stream this online for the second act. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of jokes that we'll call back to, like Crank and Scrape Clank and Scrape? What are their names?
Scrape.
Crank and Scrape.
They're
Man, that's a
Kenkus,
hard-
but they have
that's a hard
sound
one.
names, but
Yeah.
you couldn't reproduce the sound, so Fern called
Yeah.
them after what they sounded like.
Yeah, Clank and Scrape. And they were from Act 1. So we'll make a lot of references to characters or NPCs that you may not be seeing right now, but that may be important in the future. But the players, we don't really know. And so I forgot why I started saying this.
But
Oh
we
yeah,
were talking
but
about the
we were
dinner.
yeah. So our characters all went and met Sylvia, which is Piper's character, uh, in the first act, and that went terribly. And so the undertones of this are basically you and your friends are ragamuffins. Get out of my house.
Oh,
We were
You
ragamuffins.
know what really
We still are
irritates me now that I
ragamuffins.
think about it is the vibe. I was expecting a very similar vibe in Phelan Thalor. That's where we are, right? Phelan Thalor.
Mhm.
I was expecting a similar vibe there, but it's completely different. It's almost like a nature commune. It's like vibed out,
Right.
completely chill,
Right.
no high standards or anything. Which Rip Fern, you would love
Well,
to hear.
wood elves are different than high elves too.
I was wondering. I was gonna ask if that was the main difference. You Nathaniel described there being wood elves, but also one of the council members was a high elf.
Yes, and he
True.
specifically deals with exterior issues.
Okay.
Are the
Because
majority-
in some campaigns, sub races are a thing, and some they really don't matter. I
Gotcha.
was curious.
Are the majority of the residents there wood elves?
Yeah.
Okay, see, yeah, that's what I expected.
I like wood elves.
Are these Keebler elves or Lord of the Rings elves?
No.
Okay.
Was it-
D&D lesson for all you people who haven't played D&D before. Nathaniel, are you cool if I take this one?
You can go for it, but I would imagine if somebody hasn't played D&D and they're watching this, I would be concerned.
Yes. Okay. Valid.
I haven't.
Rings elves.
Yeah.
When you make a D&D character, there's a certain you choose a class and a race, which sounds super racist, but it's just like a species. Like elf, dwarf, go look at your Tolkien. You can thank him for that, basically. And then every race has a couple of sub-race options. You can be like a high elf, or a moon elf, a rock gnome, or a forest gnome. There's only one of some kinds, like tieflings and orcs, half orcs and half elves.
Humans.
And humans. The humans have a little bit of variant human. You can do stuff with it. So it's halfling, elf, dwarf, gnome,
Nazi has something like that.
genasi. Are those the only ones with sub-races?
That I can think of off the top of my head.
Off top of my head, some races have sub-races. And you can do stuff with that in your D&D homebrew, or you cannot do stuff with that in your D&D homebrew. And I didn't really think about it until just now when we were like, they're wood elves. And I was like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
the high elves are the assholes.
So I thought you knew Sylvie was a high elf.
I did, in the back of my mind, didn't really think it was super important.
So
I
if they're
describe most
rude, they're
elves as
probably
elves.
related to her.
I don't really differentiate too much. I only wanted to specify in this moment just because they'd have a different appearance.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Right. So what do they look like?
I don't remember the off the top of my head the description.
In the PHB, they tend to have darker colored hair, so browns and blacks, and I think slightly tanner or darker skin.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think
Are
that's
they
what it is.
really tall like Sylvia's people though?
Yeah. Well, okay. Technically, in canon D&D, elves average 5'6" and are shorter than humans. But we all have decided that this ruling is.
Oh, I don't care.
The council has
elves are
made a
taller
stupid
than-
decision.
Yeah.
The council.
What I love about that is I am literally a human that is 5'4" and I'm considered small. So the fact that they're humans are small, they're 5'6".
Yeah.
That
So
just depends on
we all
the
agree elves
series
are
you pick.
tall, so elves are tall. There's also moon elves, I think,
Right.
and sun elves, and drow.
Dark elves.
Drow are cool. So cool. Go read the Dristo Warden books, y'all. So good. A little racist. A little racist.
Anyways.
Sorry.
This has
Is
all
that
been a very
problematic topic
productive
alone?
conversation.
Somebody shut me up by changing the topic.
I don't know what else to talk about.
I suppose we should do. I don't know.
Oh, what do we think the summit's gonna look like? We should talk about what we're gonna do after the summit. I think a lot of.
You have a week.
Yeah, a lot of what we're gonna do depends after the summit depends on the summit. So what are we gonna do? A week.
It is really difficult planning for this group, and I know we've said it multiple times, but seriously, kudos to you, Nathaniel, because you're here is this perfectly straight path. It's paved. It has giant billboard signs telling you where you should go. And we see a little
Please.
deer trail off the side of the road and walk down the deer trail.
The road less traveled, obviously.
What road are you walking down that everything is so clear?
I think he tries to make it clear. And we're just like, nah.
I just
I
need
mean,
some glasses.
It was pretty clear that we needed to talk to them about Weinrith, and maybe not after that first meeting. Maybe it was a little unclear, but I don't know. After that, it's like, okay, we need to just come clean, and we still resisted a little
church?
bit.
You talking about the church?
Yeah, that's what she was
Mhm.
referring to.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and I feel like we have gotten, understandably, a little sidetracked from our main quest of finding these creation stones because of all this shit going on with Lionrith and the fact that we were
Artifacts,
both
not
in jail,
stones.
all in jail.
Yeah.
At various points, not at the same time.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like we
are
should
all
keep that.
prison group.
I do think it's funny that we were first calling it prison group and then like non-prison group, and now that distinction does not work.
We're
Yeah.
together now. We're not going to split the party again, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
If we split the party again, I'm not playing anymore. I'm literally just, I quit.
We've seen that it's bad, so we're not going to do it again.
What if we are involuntarily split up?
We'll try
Like-
not to make that happen.
Some of us are magically teleported somewhere else against our will.
Could be.
Yeah, but then I would have planned
Also,
for that.
We
There's a
make
difference
some
between I plan it and then you guys plan it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but things that we plan never turn out as we plan them.
No plans to
No.
make contact with the enemy. Simple rule.
So I was going into this, I was like, yes, we are going to make a plan. And then I realized that we never have a plan for anything. And it's
Nope.
kind of a 50-50 if it turns out
Yep.
like.
I mean, to be fair, when we had to fight all the goons that Valdara summoned, that went pretty well, considering none of us were severely injured, and we were just trying to last X amount of rounds so that we could be teleported out by Elbella.
That was the last time anything felt coherently together.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
we
there
didn't
were
really plan that
guidelines
one
and
either.
actual rules.
Okay, enough with the references.
Sorry.
There are never too many references.
Anyways,
I-
we have a week that we have to stay in the Great Forest. There's a fly in my room. Kill him.
I honestly been watching it for a while.
Eating cats.
Anyways.
I've
I
had better
did-
luck with cats, Faith.
I also feel like personally, I'm not very helpful at planning this because I didn't realize until you mentioned, Nathaniel, that having these near-death experiences week after week after week is not the norm, because that's my only experience with D&D.
Yeah, but
Because
you
that's
see,
just what's been going on.
Sorry.
the first part of the camp of this act wasn't all near-death experiences. It's only the more recently that it's been non-stop near-death experiences because we've made poor choices.
Okay, but
Well,
it's been
probably
like
mention-
also, to be fair,
didn't-
the only person that's died by her own stupid choice.
fair enough.
You also split the group up and divided half the episodes into 1-hour segments for each group, so that just pushed things to a halt. So it seems like it was been a while, like it was several months of it, but in reality, if we combine that all together into normal sessions, it only been like a month.
We've had a really stressful month.
Yeah.
But I
But
don't know
I would
how to
say
plan
that
for not dying.
at least the time in Titania was extremely pivotal in what happened forward. Because I would say, at least with a lot of stuff that happened in Act 1, there was a lot of moments where if something went wrong, it wasn't that big of a deal. Because you weren't around a lot of big things. So if you pushed over the big pot, it breaks a whole bunch of stuff. But if you push down just like a broom, that's not going to cause a lot of issues. That's kind of what it was for a while, which is why at least I warned the 4 of them, hey, we're starting Act 2. Be careful about pushing things over.
Yeah.
And then
And-
nobody listened.
Yeah, but
Shocker.
Literally ate something I shouldn't have.
It's not so much that we didn't listen, but that we, I don't know. How do I,
I don't
say
think
this?
we were ready for how intense it would be without the training wheels. We were ready for it to be a
That-
little bit easier for a bit. And
But
then,
also, the stakes just got very high with Lionrith and we felt like we couldn't trust the church and all of that.
Madison, are you having issues? I've been watching this with great
Yeah.
he's
amusement.
after it. But yeah, like, and I would probably even add for you, Faith, here. While you may not know what kind of happened in Act 1 a lot of the times, I still think you can do well in this section. There isn't a barrier entry as a result. It's pretty straightforward what you guys need to do and how to access, like, find it. They just may have some little bit extra tidbits of how to accomplish those goals.
And see, I'm like, I don't know how to put it. Again, context clues, I guess, that I can kind of figure out the big points of Act 1. It's just like I said, going forward, we have what, 3 to 4 very large issues that we're all dealing with, or that, which is Lionrith, the church, Lionrith's dad, which I'm separating those on purpose because we basically we might be fighting them on one front, but we have to deal with them on 2 separate parts. And then the creations, the stones of creation or whatever. So
Aspects.
it's just a lot.
Yeah, so you just honestly need to pick maybe a route to focus on for a little bit until you kind of have that in a nice bow, as it were.
Which I'm hopefully this summit would actually help us tie up or at least temporarily tie up some of these extra things.
Hopefully.
If we don't piss off the church. So Piper,
Sylvia.
with love, don't let
Yes,
Sylvia get on.
again, now that we know that after the whole prison situation and their response after we told them, I think Sylvia's response is going to be a little different.
And saying at the very least, we may be able to push off some of these issues by going like, hey, we promise that we'll let you deal with us however you see fit if we're still alive after we finish our main quest.
Okay, but also I think during this week we need to take Lionrith to another druid circle because there's one in the area.
That'll only work if we can get the druids to take us.
Which
the
they
one in the
might,
city is
because if it's in the woods, they said that we could go to the other city that was in the woods.
All around Alanar doesn't specifically have a circle, I don't think, but that is where one of the aspects was last rumored to be.
Yeah, right. That's
Madison.
why I specifically asked if we could go there.
Have you maybe participated in a one-off that may or may not have had one in it?
It's been so long ago now. I'm like, wait, what?
Is that the thing that got recovered?
No, I don't know.
No, but within the for context for everybody, a while ago, we had done a like big get together one off and was participated in this world, and it happened in Alanar.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
did
I
it?
forgot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Oh,
take
it's in
notes
the
over
ruins.
that.
It was in the ruins, and we just forgot or didn't pay attention.
Just saying that there's technically 3 druid circles within the forest.
Oh, you're talking about the druid circle, not the aspect.
Yeah, he's talking about a druid circle.
Yeah, we were talking about druid circles.
I thought you were like you ran into the aspect, and I was like,
No, the
No,
pyramid
no.
thing is what we recovered. The pyramid of doom.
Still can't believe that was my first introduction to D&D, and I stuck with it.
You remember?
Yeah.
Didn't he take us through a forest maze again?
Yes,
And there
because
was a clearing in there with a bunch of freaking circles.
I remember this because we
And
spent
none
like
of us
2
thought
hours
about
lost in the
that.
stupid fucking forest.
I killed the fly, by the way.
Wait, I think it's because we were so focused on just trying to get through the forest path because we kept backtracking. That's probably why.
And that was before I know for sure that was before I registered that like Circle of Stones equals Druid Circle. Hadn't put those two together yet. I think that
I
took
still
somebody
haven't, and I'm
explicitly
sitting
telling
here.
me that. But we got there. So hey, two birds, one stone. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I wanted to do in the week that we had was go check out that stuff and also like borrow some stuff from around the forest because that's interesting.
Okay, now we as characters have to obtain the information somehow and not metagame.
Well, we already knew that there was like okay, so number one, it wouldn't be hard to be like, where are the druid circles? Might be able to get that info. Number
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
we already have reason to go there because of the aspect.
Yes.
So hopefully, one thing leads to another.
Yeah. Ideally.
Gosh, I'm just so nervous about the summit. It's gonna be like a whole party of everybody we ever made angry.
The king's not angry with us.
I
Huh?
kind of assumed
I don't know
everybody
that that's
was.
good for us.
What do you mean?
That's my default state.
Isn't he like a butt? Doesn't everybody like
No.
hate him?
The king is very popular.
Who's the guy that resurrected the crap in the basement that we found in Act 1?
Zeglados and Regulus, his traitorous
That
son.
guy.
They won't
Okay.
be there. They're with Valdara. Valdara's specifically not coming. We also learned the base of Valdara recently, which is like, probably important to know.
Oh yeah. That mountain.
Broad
I'd have to look at a map again to remember.
something pinnacle. The text on my map on my wall is too small for me to read effectively without giving you an uncomfortable close up of my nose.
Okay. Oh man, this game.
Oh man, is right. Ugh, it gives me so much anxiety. In a good way, mostly. Hey,
Mostly.
actually, I'm not gonna ask that because I'll just look like a fool and be sad.
Well, now
Ask
you
away.
have to.
Do it.
Nope. What are we talking about next?
Whatever you were gonna ask.
Yes, that.
I was mostly just gonna say, I hope we get Fern back eventually.
We might.
I've been missing Fern hours like a lot lately. I don't know why.
Nothing is
I've been
impossible with
here
this group.
since we had to freeze her.
Yeah.
It's missing the homies hour 24/7. I have nobody to be stupid with anymore. Koo has too many brain cells,
Kudos.
and we don't share any of them.
I just egg you on at inopportune moments.
Yeah. We really
That's
could
true.
use another voice of reason in multiple situations. Not that Fern is always the voice of reason, but
Rarely.
she's pretty good at like calming people down and almost making peace. Like she was a peace cleric, keep somebody from royally pissing off the entire church.
Hey, all I'm saying is they had a stinky attitude to begin with, and Sylvie
You
was
also
not
had a
taking it.
stinky attitude.
Yeah, because
That's
we
true.
were doing a favor for them. We brought them an aspect, and they were all pissed off at us.
I don't know how to explain to you that this is not their response. Anyways, theoreticals aside. Oh, we leveled up. Right? That was recent. We already did that.
That was
Never mind.
Yeah.
before last session.
Yeah, we're level 10 now, right? No. Yeah, you guys
You're
are
level
10.
9.
I'm 9.
What level did we start on?
1.
1.
2?
Wait.
1?
I thought we were all
Wow.
level 9.
No, you guys are level 10 because I'm a level behind and I'm level 9.
No. I think you leveled up twice, Koo.
I shouldn't have.
Yeah, say because
Yeah,
we're
they,
level
they
9.
should be level 9.
Yep.
Well, I will fix that mistake. I must have done it
Amazing.
and forgotten that I did it.
Yeah, I think you double did it.
Our little characters are just growing up so fast.
I was getting so excited too. I was like, a couple more levels. Just a couple more levels. And then I get to drop all the way back down to 7.
I really hope
Cool.
that Taylor agrees to let Leinrith try to fix the memory problem.
Oh, huh.
Because,
Oh, I
yeah.
forgot that could happen.
Yeah.
Because wasn't
Wait,
there a
who?
part that you didn't tell us because of the memory thing, or am I, or do we just not know as characters the information that you?
We haven't played out the scene.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So whatever
Well, Noah said
happens,
hi, and then Taylor lost the memories.
yeah, will be whatever will be canon. So
Ideally, we would have this mysterious box that would keep Albella from knowing that we know, but we don't have the box. So we need to decide if we want to wait until we have the box or do it now.
The box?
Man, I hate
I
Albella
don't
as
know.
both a character and a player. She stinks like rotten eggs.
Do you remember when Lionrith was all like, so I have some items.
Yeah, wait, but if he has the box, then she won't know? How did I miss that?
That was his whole reason for bringing up that he has items. He's like, yeah, I have a box. And we were all like, you don't.
Yeah, no, I remember
Box?
that part. I just forgot that
Yeah, so that's
it
why he
was
brought it up. Because
connected
if
to
I had
that
the box,
specifically.
he would be able to mess with time and memories in a way that would let Gorak
Okay.
experience it first person instead of third person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
He
Gorfrak
comes
would
with
know
an
what happened.
expansion pack.
Yes, no, I remember the expansion pack. I just forgot that it specifically would improve the whole memory restoration situation.
But
Yeah.
we don't know where it is. And
Yes,
we
I know.
also Ethios might know where it is. And
But
we'll see
also, if we take him to more druid circles during that week, it's possible he will have a better idea where it is.
Do we have a limit on how many times we can level him up in like a short
Period of time.
Yeah.
There is a quest track that he has that you're following along right now. So if the objectives change, I'll let you know.
I think the limitation is how fast can we get to druid circles?
Probably,
Please
yeah.
try it out.
I don't know. I
think
know
we
this
have
is not
2 or 3 within our reach.
I know this is not exactly an analogous situation, but I'm just imagining someone like doing steroids or something, leveling up, and like let me explain. Once is not bad, but if you do like 3 back to back, you're gonna explode. That's
He's
what
a
I'm gonna
baby god. He can handle
He's
it.
fine.
He's just a little baby.
We all
say
just learned a
that.
little bit about Faith I didn't know.
You
I'm
say that, and
curious-
we're gonna end up with Lionrith going on a rampage.
I'm curious to see if as Lionrith gets stronger and maybe hits a threshold that we're not at yet, if his appearance changes. Because not only am I eager to redo the art, because I am constantly improving as an artist, and therefore revisions need to happen on all of them. But I'm curious, because I know something that the rest of you don't know from doing the art. I'm curious what if that will ever be revealed.
I guess we'll have to find out, huh?
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm really excited to see where it goes, basically, is the TLDR. Nathaniel, you are a genius.
Try. Maybe to help spur on a direction here. What do you guys want to do after the summit?
That's hard
On
to
the
say.
assumption that you guys are able to explore your druid circles within the week and you complete the summit without any really issues.
And we get to keep traveling with Lionrith?
Yeah, we'll take that
Well,
assumption.
There was supposedly another aspect in like the Wolford Beggar's Hole area that we didn't have time to look for that I would be
Let me look
wise
at my
to.
aspect notes, because I do think we should follow up that plot thread.
Yeah, there's another one. There should be another one in the general area, unless I'm confusing the one that's in.
Here's what we know, at least in this part of my notes. I might find more in a minute. The aspect of strength followed a line of warriors until one was
Yep.
killed and lost it. The aspect of Dex and Con are lost to time, but I think one of those is the one that we said was in Alra and Olinar.
Yes, I think it's dexterity, and strength could be in Beggar's Hole or Wolford.
What makes you
So,
say that?
because Kai or somehow encountered that information, I have it specifically in my notes.
I'll look for that in a
When
minute.
Kai was researching in the library, that strength is bounced around a bit. Could be in Beggar's Hole or Wolford.
Aspect of charisma is on the east side of the continent.
Yep.
I have vague
What if-
memories of this. Like super vague.
What if we
There's
just
a reason I wrote this down because I knew I
here we
would
go.
forget.
Yeah. Aspect of Constitution is in the central south near Wadiak Bay. Aspect of Dex somewhere in the south made appearances in the Great Woods and all around.
Yes, that's so we're
Around
looking for
Alma.
Dex there in strength in Beggar's Hole / Wolford.
An older man, this is from the fortune teller. She saw an older man who was a spellcaster or a mage of some type, had the aspect of an orange bear, which I think is Khan?
Let me look up further in my notes. I wrote down what animals they all are.
Smart.
No,
He
Constitution is bear.
He lives in the southwest. We should
Okay.
head by boat.
Okay.
He liked using pyrotechnics. Southwest, so that might be on the island down to the southwest. If it says go by boat.
if we have to go fight a bear, I'm absolutely gonna lose my mind.
Bad
Okay,
flashbacks to the
so-
one shot.
Yeah.
Haha.
Basically,
That, but also, I can't tell you guys how many videos I've seen of people like actually having bears breaking into their cars and stuff, and they like have to like go get like pot lids and just like smash the pot lids together so that the bear goes and runs off in the other direction.
it's fine. We don't even have to rely on pot lids. Sylvia creates fire. I'll scare the
Well,
bear
if
away.
Leopard
going
gets an
to
opportunity to
incinerate
train,
us all
they'll
to death
also be
soon.
able to generate fire.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Madison's
I hit
reading aggressively.
I hit the end of my notes on what we know. That's basically all we know. But like the aspects aren't the only plot we're following, right?
Yes.
Right.
Because at least Sylvia is trying to figure out the whole Regulus thing and see if we can conveniently stumble upon more information there. But we
Right.
haven't.
I
Well,
think
also, I don't want to sleep on a big hint of Elbella being a pain in everybody's ass and demanding that she be able to hit the monastery. So we also might take
I was
that.
just gonna
Yeah.
say that we should go to the monastery after.
We should-
after
Did
we
anybody see his face change? Was it just me? His face changed.
Oh, I thought you and I were like same wavelength. Yeah, I
Oh,
was
that
thinking
too. We're on
if
the
we
same
don't find
wavelength, but
any
also
good-
Nathaniel smiled.
if we don't find any good clues in Alinar, my thought as I was looking through my notes was the thing we really wanted to do was circle back to the monastery
Yeah.
and make sure everything was cool there.
Well, especially
Yeah.
since Zeglodos specifically threatened us all and said, "I will
Yeah.
kill someone you love."
That's what got me there.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, we have to figure out what's up with Satas, the assassin. 'Cause
Right.
he's going after people who let Gorfrak and Fern care about. We don't know necessarily who Gorfrak and Fern care about that are within reach, but we know for certain
Right.
that literally everybody that gives a crap about is in
Yeah.
one
For-
place.
Anybody that would even know. There's only like,
Yeah.
I won't give up too much backstory here, but there's only besides this group like one person that Let knows outside of the monastery. One.
Dang.
So
That's
is
because they're not
true?
supposed to leave, but Let's a little rat bastard when it comes to the rules and is like, I'm gonna go
You
do what I
couldn't have
want.
said ragamuffin. You just went straight for that.
Ragamuffin, rat bastard, rule
We've already
Same
breaker,
difference.
the rules
heathen.
so many times. We
Yeah,
just have to figure out how to get to the monastery.
Let knows.
Kind of a well, I mean, not by like
It's just
we can't
far
get there,
away.
it's a hike.
Yeah.
It's up the way we came. I think we have to go into the mountains and go past the dwarvish settlement.
Yeah.
It's that awkwardly like blue turquoise dot that's on the map.
I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
I was letting everyone else know. They look at the map, they see a weird blue turquoise dot. That's the monastery.
Yeah.
Why is it blue and turquoise? I don't
Yeah.
know.
We also have to go because I can't tell you guys, I'm so bad at keeping secrets, and I have for like 2 years now been sitting on Let's backstory and almost just giving it all up.
That's
I
right.
wrote
Didn't even
such
tell
a
me.
detailed backstory for something I would write. It was on the same level, only Nathaniel is going to be able to appreciate this comment. It was on the same level as when I read Flatland and wrote a 20-page essay on it.
I appreciate that.
Fair. But it wasn't like detailed to the point of like crippling us, but it was so like to give us room to improvise a little bit, but it was so detailed for what you would have expected me to come up with that I'm like, if we don't deal with this, I'm gonna start getting mad.
Aves, Rose, I just remembered.
Person.
I
Yes.
just remembered. you mentioning a glimpse of glowing tattoos on Let's Back a while back. How did I forget? How did I forget that?
When did you mention that?
It was a very quick, very subtle, in the middle of things mentioned, but it got mentioned.
It
I
was
remember
literally
knowing-
in the middle of your sister's funeral.
Oh, that's probably why it
Mhm.
slipped past my mind.
Right.
I remember that.
Let
I'm
has
not gonna
been
tell you.
so background that I completely didn't even think about the fact that they could have a backstory as complex as anyone else's.
Yeah.
They do.
They were just
That is simple
was
and
just
stupid, but they
spawned.
do have a complicated background, yes.
Who am
spawned
I?
as a fully grown or
I failed.
semi-grown person.
I'm not going to tell you anything about it now, but you can learn more about it while we're playing. You can specifically let any questions you want. You know they're going to answer them, even though
Yeah,
they're
but-
literally forbidden to.
My character, me, no context, no knowledge about
Yeah,
anything,
fair.
no reason to ask. I, the
Fair.
player, am dying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kai has only known you guys for like a month.
2 months.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Mhm.
Pretty
I
sure
don't
it's
know
been
if
like 2.
Those have been like the craziest couple weeks of your whole life.
yeah. I think Kai is kind of in a place where she's like, we bonded over this shared trauma. I don't know if I care what their backstories
Yeah,
are.
the fact that Kaya was immediately like, "Hey, are you hiring? Can I come live here after I'm done with these
Yeah.
wounds?" Like, yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
right.
So
The
my
way
mind
she
now-
spent her entire life in a library just to go do crazy crap with a bunch of people she's
Not
never met in her
entire
life.
She's a trained warrior, but
I
clearly
am.
prefers books.
warrior
Huh?
boy.
This is like learning about your coworker, and you're like, wait a minute, you have a life outside of the office?
Yeah, she was basically sold to an organization and became
I
a
would-
warrior librarian, and it was
It's
awesome.
it's kind of giving the foundation vibes, to be honest.
She needs a hug.
Thanks.
The
That's
foundation.
terrible.
From Shippuden.
Thank you. Took me a minute.
Wow.
Listen, I intake so much media.
Yes, same.
My
Half
immediate
of my life is just movie quotes at this point. It's unhealthy.
same.
So by my estimation, minimum 3 sessions until we even like end on a cliffhanger of you're at the monastery. Because I'm estimating like 2 for the week and a whole session of talking during the summit. And
That
that's
tracks.
optimistic. That's optimistically short.
Nathaniel, will we ever unlock fast travel?
It's called you have to get the abilities to do so.
Teleportation.
Which Sylvia has teleportation circles, which she has yet to define to me where the
Alright,
two
keep
circles she has.
winning. Wait, does the place have to already have a teleportation circle, or do I just get to choose? Literally.
Both. So I can tell you if there's one there, and you have to have a reason why you know it.
Don't we have access to the church's teleportation circle, or am I?
They gave it to you before the arrest.
Right.
So it's up to you if you still think you still have it.
Theoretically, yes.
But theoretically, yeah, you do
'Cause
have
that
access
seems
to it.
like a good choice for one of them. I just don't know what to use for the other.
But yeah, that will be your fast travel, and you can even get further. Like when they cast the teleport spell other characters have, that's something you guys can actually do and just go anywhere that you have seen.
High level characters are wild.
Yeah, so right now it's you gotta walk around a bit, but that's just to get the experience of you're having to walk around. So then when you don't have to anymore, then you're like,
Somebody just needs to invent like cars.
well, I mean, there are quote unquote horses, but they go the exact same speed you would. So,
I
Right.
hate
Quote
that. That is
horses.
my least favorite rule.
well, think of it this way: like horses can't sprint the entire time. That's the idea. They can sprint in short bursts.
But
I was
humans are
going
just
to
going to
say
walk the
something that
whole
was going to
time. So
sound
even if they
horrible.
sprint occasionally, it's still got to at least be 1.25% faster.
There's a reason why humans are the top species, and it's because we're an endurance species.
We could
That's
just
fair.
walk. And as much as I hate walking to campus,
Yeah, fair enough. This is a side note because I so don't do conversations linear. I have to track back to things. It just occurred to me that when Ku goes to the monastery, she's gonna lose her freaking mind over all the different fabrics that are going on there.
Ku is
She's gonna
already
probably just
highly
try to go
interested in
steal
that
people's
stuff
clothing.
because
Right,
the clothing style is unfamiliar.
right.
That's kind of her shiz.
I have a feeling that she's gonna walk up to some poor unsuspecting monk and they're just gonna pick her up and be like, "What is this and why is it in here? Why is it trying to steal my stuff?"
She's just making grabby motions at the cloth.
Just like this, and they're just holding her at like at far enough away, and she's just
Yeah, that's whole character right there.
incredible. Oh man.
Anyways, I fully
Probably-
don't think we'll do anything we expect to do after the summit. I think something is going to go down. We're gonna have to, at the very least, fight to keep custody of Lionrith.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's
and
a
we
weird way to
also
put it.
probably really better get that kid a disguise. Like
Yeah.
again,
He said
that.
the
it's in
leprechaun
his
hat
box.
helped.
It's in his box.
That's not in his box. He has 3 different items.
Look,
They are
he has a
separate, but
cloak.
one of them is a box. Yeah.
We don't have the cloak.
Okay.
So we need in probably the week coming to prove that we can help find him.
Yeah. Because that was one of the biggest things that Ethios said is you've done nothing to disguise him. Like, well, we've only just discovered that he's a baby god, first of all.
We literally discovered that in Maple Grove, got attacked, and came to Titania.
Piper,
That is
just as a
really
side
funny
note,
series of events.
I wasn't paying that much attention, but when you just walked by holding, like putting something up on the shelf, I thought you were Lion Kinging your cat.
I did
No.
too.
I had to put his
I
toy
was
box
like-
up because he has this lovely habit of chewing on the rods of the toys that you
Ah.
flip around. Yeah.
I was just like, what does your cat do? Sorry, continue. We can.
I was fully just seeing the like Lion King in the corner, and I was like, "Why are you manhandling him?"
But yes, I 100% agree that we will get through the summit and we'll be like, right now, it's really easy to be like, this is our plan. Something's going to go down at the summit. We're going to be like, psych.
Like
Right.
I expect to fight for Lionrith's custody, which will go poorly or well depending on our access to magical.
That's why I'm hoping if we can take him to several druid circles so he can at least knows where the cloak is, so we can say, hey, we're gonna go get the cloak so that he can be disguised, and we're gonna keep leveling him up.
There's also magical items that can hide you from things like divinations, so we might look into that. I don't know what the magical item status is in the Great Woods though, so we're gonna have to look into that. Number 2, I expect at least one malcontent party to like crash the thing, like Valdaro or somebody.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Is it
We make-
logical in a magical forest that you can't enter without permission? No. Do I expect the worst from Nathaniel? Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I have to say, it is a little bit our fault because we somehow succeed in making enemies with literally everyone we meet.
That's not
everybody.
Yeah.
true. Allison is not, still our friend.
One group.
We got 2.
Technically, the king could love us and
minimum.
the Griffin Riders could hate us. Just because they work for the king doesn't mean that they would necessarily like us.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But yeah, every D&D group makes enemies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Viewers, feel free to drop in the chat what you think we should do because clearly we're stupid and need advice.
Hey, our current idea is not bad. Not that we wouldn't take other advice, but it's not like this idea is stupid.
We're at the
It's
point
just-
where even if we have like a completely watertight idea, I won't trust it.
It's just so vague right now because we make stupid decisions along the way. So all we can kind of do is sketch out a rough map of here's where we are, here's where we want to go. Everything in between is up for debate because we
Yeah.
make stupid decisions.
Ooh, I need to rep Taylor here for a minute. Let's not forget that the Druids also have something going on that we're probably gonna have
Right.
to address before the act is over.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'd
Also,
say the monastery top priority, but Druids should also be relatively high.
right, because I completely forgot that the Griffin Riders wanted us to look into that. And I think
Oh, did they?
as much as possible, we need to try to gather information about the other missions, even if we can't do much until, just because we might stumble upon situations along the way if we have an eye out for them.
As a general kind of reminder here, as in case you forgot about the beginning part of my recap, you've got like 4 kind of major quests that you guys can interact with. You have the Lionrith one, which you guys have been pushing through pretty hard on. You have the aspects and the Valdara kind of going on. You have Regulus, what's going on with him, and then you got the Druids.
The thing is, they're definitely all connected some way too, which is why I'm like, we have to investigate them all.
But we also know that we can't investigate them all because you've explicitly stated.
Yes.
Right, that we cannot pursue them all.
Right, but as much as we can, if we can follow the threads even just a little bit, it might be helpful.
I say, and our also present problem, we can't really do much until we resolve this whole Lionrith issue, at
Right.
least part of it, as in whether or not he's going to stay with our group.
We'll be in a better situation when we figure out, does he stay? And if he stays, if he gets cloaked.
I say, and then we can, after we hopefully get him to stay with us, we can kind of back off getting him leveled up or even his backstory, because I hopefully not shooting ourselves in the foot here, but I think we kind of got the big main overview is that he's a new god, and we like that's the main crux of that issue.
There's a lot of details we don't know that might be useful, but again, not super essential. I really would like to monastery, big thing.
Yeah.
Don't really know where to go after that. I think going
We
there
would-
will illuminate our next steps.
Well, we need to
I
go
agree.
to the far east to get the aspect there.
I think that might be our last aspect, though.
Yeah.
Because the other one is to the southwest and is objectively closer to where we are now.
Oh, yeah. I just mean after the monastery, because we need to get all the aspects in the general vicinity before we go to the monastery, and then after the monastery, we can go to the east.
I would assume that we would see if we can get the aspect in the week. If we can't, at least we kind of know where it is.
Again, there are
Hit
two that are
monastery first thing.
there are two that are very close to us. It does not make sense to go all the way to the monastery and then go all the way back.
Except for that somebody who cares about it could be dying.
Yes, but Nathaniel also said it's not dire to where it's like if you're not there in a week, they're dead.
I would think that going to the monastery, they've been in place for how long now? An extra couple of weeks isn't gonna.
But it's already been so long since Albella got the chance, the info to go there.
I will
Oh, no,
add assist with this mentality is that I'm moving time forward by objectives. So, or long spans of time where no objective has been completed. So, I'll leave that to your interpretations of whether it be completed objectives and so forth or not, but that's how I'm tracking time.
That was vague and unhelpful.
Yeah.
Again, I think the situation at the monastery is important, but I don't think it's absolutely dire to where if we take the time to get the aspect that's in Wolford or Beggar's Hole, I don't think it's going to be a dire situation if we take a little time to do that before we go
My
there.
concern is that if we don't go to the monastery soon, what if there's something in Let's backstory that's somewhat important to where we go from here? Or something at the monastery that's
I understand, but we already have information about an aspect and where it likely is. Why are we thinking that we're going to go way out of the way to just have to backtrack?
Aspects are never easy to find versus this is a very easy objective to complete.
Why
We
are you
have a-
smiling like that, Nathaniel?
Because he's trying to get us to read this comment from one of our commenters that says in the chat from Mr. Beep says, the aspect of dexterity I thought was in the nearby forest. Sounds like you need to ask where to find Robin Hood's hideout. Bella probably already killed everyone in the monastery, so no rush at this point.
Ouch, Mr. Beeps! But true.
Damn.
See, as a player, I'm sweating because he's not missed once, folks. Not once has Mr. Beeps missed. This
In
man
which case-
aims and hits his target every time.
There's a reason.
Gee, I wonder
Oh,
if
that
I
gives
good
me.
at reading our DM's plots.
I know that we shouldn't. I know that if everyone in the monastery's dead, it's not like there's much we can do. But at the same time, I now want to go to the monastery just in case.
Don't forget, Elbella's whole purpose of going there was looking for a gold sphere that grants wishes.
Right.
Also, I'm still super suspicious about what her whole deal is with the doors and stuff. That might
She
change
is not.
if
Right. If we restore the
decide
memory,
to restore
that
the
also
memory.
might change things.
She has not done a single thing in her entire time with us that didn't present as slightly sketchy.
She teleported us away from Valdara. That was not exactly sketchy.
Her own ends.
Yeah, that was curious now I think about it. If she was working directly with Valdara, maybe she's working.
But if she was working directly with Valdara, that would be a really good way to get us to trust her.
Yeah,
I'm not made for this political intrigue.
me either.
I trust exactly no one, so it's.
I've noticed.
Hey, I just
trust
like to
exactly
toss out there that I was not the one who brought up the idea that Lionrith might be a bad guy like several weeks ago.
Forgot about that. I forgot about that debate.
That's something that's been in the back of my mind since Act 1 because of the original card, because he got the card of power from the fortune teller originally, and the way that that card was described was like you can use it for like basically great good or evil, where I was like, maybe he's not just this little baby dragon. Maybe he's something more sinister.
He was a little bit of a blank slate when we found him.
Right.
So maybe a lot of what he becomes is up to us. Not to like put ourselves in a really powerful position, but like I don't think it's. And obviously he's getting his memories back now, but.
Well, I'm sure that's part of our motivation to keep him, because the fact that he ran away from Ethios, he could very easily just run into the arms of his mother. So,
and if he is a blank slate that's picking up that kind of maybe mirror would be a better way because he's just reflecting what we show him. I wouldn't want him with Ethios either, for that matter. Valdara or Ethios. It's
No, Allison, the Griffin writer, was right when she was like, yeah, he should be kept away from both. Which felt very validating because up until that moment, every other NPC had been like, he should be with the church. Because they were all with the church.
going. I have a quick question on the cards, or like on the card of power. I don't know a whole lot about tarot, but I want to say I dabble. I don't know why that's the side of TikTok I'm on, but for some reason I occasionally stumble onto that side of TikTok.
I get the same issue as well. Don't worry.
If it makes you feel any better, TikTok thinks I have at least 3 children. I'm gentle parenting them all. I've been divorced twice, and I'm somebody's mom. That's definitely what
because
they
you're
think.
always watching the gentle parenting videos, even though
You know what? And I use them on my coworkers, and it works. Hot tip, viewers. Hot tip. If you are having trouble with your coworkers, gentle parent them. Works every
It
time.
has Phyllis using those tips for managing difficult people on Angela vibes.
I do have to
It
say,
works.
depending on the situation,
Anyways.
you are the mom friend.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
anyways,
I know that tarot, like, so you're given the death card. It doesn't necessarily mean death. It means just a transition. Is that the kind of situation we're at, where just because the card looks not thrilling, it doesn't necessarily mean that on a surface level? Like the card of power obviously means that he's got something to him, but
maybe God, it might be literal.
So some of the cards they have mechanical value, so you can get them if you ever find the fortune teller. And currently we have all the way back at the beginning of this act. Some of you decided to pick some up. Other people were like, "Nope, we're not doing that." So
the one person
she freaks me out.
So I do believe Sylvia and Let both have the same one.
Yeah.
Is it the card of evil? I think that was the one.
I can't remember. All I remember is that we had like some great obstacle to overcome, and I'm like, wow, that really has been accurate.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad card. And so they give you some sort of hint of the direction it might be, but then they'll have some
Card
more
of
sort of mechanical
villainy?
value.
That's
Yeah, Black
right.
Dragon with playing card style to it. Quote, every story needs its hero, its villain, and its monsters.
Yeah.
The message is to understand what is coming and how to fight it.
Did I get a card? I can't
You
remember.
did. You got the card of Fate, a purple tiefling with an elegant dress that looks like space. Fate is never fair. You are caught in a current much stronger than you. If you struggle against it, you will drown not only yourself, but those who are trying to save you. Every person has the power to change fate if they are brave enough. It is a powerful ally and enemy. Be wary.
Okay, see, my question is how much do
Yippee.
these cards influence other results in this campaign that you aren't telling us about? Like, we know that the card of wisdom allowed me to see Sylvia to see the comet in Act 1 that was Leinrit's delivery into this plane of existence. So now I'm like, how much effect does this have?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I'm wondering if Fern had actually decided to get a card. She could have gotten a card that could have helped with the whole.
Maybe.
Could have.
She's the one person who didn't take a card.
Do I still have the card?
I
Yeah,
assume we all
I
still
would have
have
said
ours.
something if it was removed.
Okay. Okay.
You know, now that you say that, I think it's funny that I got a space card just based on that.
Space Ace. Yeah, man, I didn't even think about that until now. I completely forgot that the cards were a thing.
I
Mhm.
I don't like those cards because I have a feeling we're gonna get to the end of this and be like, oh, that's what it meant. And poor Nathaniel's gonna be over there banging his head against the wall because we're all stupid. But
I'll let you know when they activate. Don't worry.
that was ominous.
I hate that even more than just going through it.
Interesting. Gorfrak got the card of power. I went
You
to
did.
look up the 3-card split because, like before, everybody got the same first and last card. And I don't think I wrote down what they were called, but the first
Oh,
one
no.
split into 3 slightly ajar parts. The card represented shifting and changing, unpredictability, feeling lost.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I have a follow-up question.
One sec.
Sorry.
The final card was the complete the city design from the first card, but like arranged so it was complete, like organized as a full picture, with stone rock at the bottom and orange sky at the top. An event that you don't have control over will occur and all culminate in one action. Whatever happens will be decisive for you and everyone around you.
Oh, good.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yippee.
Love it.
Also,
That's hitting.
whenever the
That's
fortune
hitting a little too
teller
close to home this
and
week.
tabaxi traders are in the same place, bad things tend to happen.
Tabaxi traders and who?
Yeah, whenever the Tabaxi traders and the fortune teller are in the same place, bad things happen. That was something that was told to us very early in Act 1, and we all forgot.
Yeah, when you first met the fortune teller, she said that to you.
Question.
And we would have
if
known that
we-
something bad was going to happen in Lux because both of them were there, but we forgot.
If we went back to the fortune teller or found another fortune teller,
There's
Mhm.
only one, isn't there?
Only one.
We just have to happen upon her now because she was in Lux temporarily, but there's no way she's
Yeah.
there now because the city is destitute.
well, I'm curious if, as it stands now, if we got cards again, would they be the same cards or would they be different?
Wait,
They
didn't
were the
Leinrith go with Gorfrak in Act 1 again and get the same? Like, I remember somebody went and got the same
Somebody
card,
went and got the same reading.
but I can't remember.
It was the same reading at the time. I think Leinrith got a different one. I don't remember the exact details because it's been a while.
Somebody got the same reading, everything went to hell, and then it changed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. I know he got the one in Act 2 was different. I just thought maybe he had gotten the same one in Act 1, which it sounds like he did.
Well, that's basically what I was asking, is that if
We wanted to
something
ask, just
off the wall enough happened, sorry,
no, go
something
for it.
off the wall enough happened, or a character did something that I don't want to say you couldn't plan for, because somehow you seem to plan for everything, which is
I
insane.
don't think he planned for that.
Yeah.
He didn't plan for the Fern situation,
Unpredictable.
but also
And for that.
Problematic is the word you're
Yeah.
looking for. Problematic.
But like
theory was that we would have to walk around until we find her again, but we have sending now.
That's true. Oh wait, I could also, well, either Gorfact or I could try to scry and see if we can figure out where she is.
Well, and I kind of feel like if we went back and we got different cards,
We wouldn't.
whether or not we got the same or different, it would tell us what path we were on. If we were going completely towards left field, or if. Does that make sense?
I mean, the final card basically said something is coming that's unavoidable, and
Right.
it'll be decisive. You'll have to react. Now,
But-
am
I was more.
verified for that implication? Yes.
I was more referring to like individuals, like.
Yeah. Well, then the middle card would be what would change most likely. Which I am curious. Like now that with everything Sylvia has endured, would that mean she would now get a different card, or is the villainy card still in effect because we haven't like dealt with Zeglodos, which is kind of the reason a lot of these bad things happened.
From what I
Or
remember,
like.
from what I
Or
remember,
like if we. Sorry, go ahead.
for it. You go for it.
Sorry, no, go. What do you remember?
From what I remember, when somebody, I want to say it was Gorfrek, or maybe Fern, I don't remember who. Somebody went and got a second reading after they had used their middle card, but before the end
Right.
of Act 1.
Right.
The fortune teller pulled out the exact card.
It must have been Gorfrak then. Because I'm pretty sure Gorfrak, yeah, because didn't Gorfrak's card disappear when we split the party at the creepy cabin in the woods?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a survival card or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fortune teller had the exact card and put it down in the middle. Nothing had changed.
Well,
Right. But are you curious about Lander specifically, Faith? Because now that we've used the circles, maybe he would get a different card.
I say that's currently where my mind's at, because if there is a chance that he is whether or not he's a mirror that's just going to reflect the personality of whoever's nearest him, or if he has his own, whatever you want to call it, own moral compass, ideology,
Yeah.
leaning towards good or evil, morality, whatever. He was kind of, like we said, a blank slate especially when he first started getting the cards, because he was a baby and we knew nothing and he knew nothing. And I don't know that I want to say this fortune teller was more powerful than the gods.
There's something going on there for sure, like clearly.
But like if we level him up and go back to the fortune teller, will that give us a clearer picture as to where he's headed, or will it tell us more about whether he is just a mirror, or
It's
like,
possible. It's definitely something we should keep in mind.
I think if anything, the fortune teller knew he would be getting more powerful, and like think about it. The power card still applies. He could still go either way.
True.
Nothing has really changed. I completely forgot about the fortune teller until just.
Well, everyone, I think we're gonna start wrapping up here. If you have any last final comments for today.
Ah!
I'm proud of us for making it through for X amount of months. Only technically, none of us have died. One of us is just in a state of temporary.
And that was not because of a combat that went wrong. That was because of
Yeah.
poor decision making.
So I'm proud that we have survived X amount of months without actually killing anyone.
Close calls.
Doing good.
It's the
Great
little
job,
thing.
guys. Can't wait to see where the next 20 take us.
Oh god.
Well, lead us out.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining us again this week and enjoying the nonsense that is this crap that we put on the internet. We didn't play any music this week, but I'll plug him anyways because he's lovely. Our music that we normally play on our pause screen is by Alex Frazier. He's linked in our bio. Go check him out on YouTube. Madison does our artwork that has been displaying in the middle section
Oh,
here.
Really?
Yes.
Mhm.
I've just had the character ticker going. It's fine. It's lovely. Everyone in the comments tell Madison her art is lovely if you think so, because she doesn't think so, but we all do.
We do.
We'll give special kudos to our DM Nathaniel for dealing with all the nonsense that we've been putting him through for the past 20 episodes in the past 2 years that we've been playing this campaign. And we'll see you guys later.
as a final reminder, we will not be playing next week. So
Yeah.
enjoy your holiday, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
See you guys.
Bye.